Okay, today I'm going to show you how to make a tower. This is Buddy. I call him our pest control manager, but actually he doesn't control anything. Except he does make a lot of noise, and you got to wear a dirty shirt, because if he decides to poop on you, you got crap all over you. So a lot of people have been asking me how exactly to build the towers. I just assumed most of you knew how to do that, but I'll go through it step by step and show you exactly how I do it. Okay, the first thing I start with is a full length of 4-inch sewer pipe. So that's 4 inches from here to here, okay? It's 10 foot long, and then it has a sleeve on it here for connecting another piece. So I end up cutting that off, but I cut everything with a grinder. This has a metal blade. I just find that it works easy for me. It doesn't throw up a bunch of big pieces of crap in your face. And so I like to use it. You can use whatever. You can use a jigsaw, you can use a reciprocating saw, a skill saw, just about anything to cut this pipe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure out my length. I know my towers are 4 foot 10 inches when I get rid of this sleeve down here on the bottom, okay? That way I can kind of follow the line as I go around, and I just connect the dots basically, is all I'm doing. You know, and if I was doing this, you know, to sell a product or something, then I probably want to cut it on like a chop saw or something where I make it real straight. But for me, for what I'm doing, I cut everything by hand. Now, Buddy, you're going to be all right. I'm going to turn this on. Are you ready? Are you ready? Here we go. Okay, this will be our second tower. I'll set it back over there. This will be the tower that we're going to do. And it doesn't matter if it comes out a little crooked or not. Your plants really don't care. All your plants care about is that you give them the right nutrients. So now I need to cut my slit. I cut a 1-inch slit, which is about the width of this level right here. It's just right at 1 inch wide, and so I just place this on here to get my lines, okay? And generally what I do is I follow this writing that's on the pipe itself. It'll always have, you know, what it is, basically who made it, and I want to get rid of that stuff, so I just have a white tower. So I line my level up right with the edge of that, so I can cut that stuff off of there. And like I said, you only have to be close with this. You don't have to be perfect. And just draw a line here. I'll actually be a little bit wider. It depends on whether if I cut inside the line or outside the line than 1 inch. But then again, it just really doesn't matter to the plants. All they care about is that they get the proper nutrition. Okay, so there you can see I have, this is what I'm going to be cutting out. And so now we'll cut it out. You ready, Buddy? Okay, here we go. Now you'll notice, oh yeah, that was good in my ear. You'll notice this only puts out a fine powder, so I'm not even putting safety goggles on. But don't tell OSHA that. They might have a cow if they know I'm out here working without my safety goggles. Okay, so I got one side cut, so now I'll cut the other side. The other thing you want to be careful of is this particular grinder. It likes to pull that way, and so I find myself sometimes I'll be holding like this. You always want to be sure you keep your hands out of the way, because if this thing does grab, this grinder could go across and catch your thumb or fingers or whatever. So it's best to always try to grab it in front of the grinder, because the force, this thing wants to drive it back. So that's something to always be aware of. Thought I really cut my finger, didn't you? You tell him, buddy. So that could happen if you're not really careful. Okay, so once we're done now, yes, no cut. You're gonna have a slot about like this. Of course, the pipe wants to close in a little bit. But when we put the foam in, it's gonna stretch it out a little bit. I like a 1-inch gap. Some people have a 1/2-inch gap. Some people like a wider gap. It's totally up to you what you wanna do. So we got our 4'9" or 4' 10" tower, a little extra blood residue on it. And so now let's go finish it up. We'll put the foam in it, put the caps on it, and then it's ready to plant. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is take our wicking strip. Now this wicking strip is, this was our testing product. So we had the company dye it this kind of purple lavender color so that we wouldn't get confused with what we were doing. Now the final product is going to be this color. These are some samples of what the final product. This is cut 1/4 inch. This is 1/8 inch. 1/8 inch wicks up just perfect for us. But this is a little more conducive to growing things, I guess. I don't know that the plants really care, but this is what we came up with. Now on a wicking material, you can use a lot of different things. For a couple of years, all I did was I used just regular material, some cottony stuff. Anything that will hold the moisture, that will wick up, collect that moisture to keep those roots moist, especially if you have a pump failure and you're down for a couple hours in the middle of the day. You definitely don't want your towers drying out. So what I do with this is I cut it. When it comes to us in big sheets, and so I cut it. So it's not perfect, but it's good enough, and like I always say, the plants don't care. I lay it in here, and then I just squeeze it down, okay? And then come back and just start shoving this in. I spread this out, get this one started, and just push it in there. And then I take a screwdriver, and I just shove it in here, and I pull it, okay? And it just usually pulls, as long as I don't squeeze the tower, it'll pull right in here. Whoops, I went a little too far. So let me back this out just a little bit. And then I do my next piece the same way. Drop it down in there. You can take scissors, you can cut it, you can rip it. The plants don't care. They only care that you give them something yummy to eat. This is for human convenience here. Now, I have a little bit left down here at the bottom because I had actually used this foam on a different tower last year. A little bit smaller, so I have a little piece right here. So you can just kind of see where you need to cut it. You can just cut this stuff. It's foam, cuts really easy, cuts easier than the fiber does. But either one makes a good media material. The wicking strip cuts pretty easy also. And what I do is I actually put this one in backwards because one plant will go in here, and this just makes sure it never falls out the bottom. I don't think it ever will because the tower fits pretty tight. Okay, so there we have the tower with the foam, and we're ready to put the cap on. So you take your standard cap. I have two different guns here, electric and then a battery powered. So I drill my hole in the center. This is going to be for my eye hook right here, okay? So let's get that drilled. And then I drill a second hole right here for my tube, my water tube to go in. And this drill bit is the size of my water tube, so I want to make sure that this hole is really kind of cleaned out. Otherwise the tube won't get in there. You don't want it too big to where the tube is loose, because if you get in like some air in your line, sometimes those tubes will jump when the pump picks up water again, if forever that happens with you. It's happened with me. And you don't want that tube coming out of there. Then I just take my hook here. These are eye bolts, 1/4 inch by 2 inch is what they are. 1/4 inch by 2 inch eye bolts, which is more than adequate to hold these towers. And sometimes I tighten them down with a wrench, sometimes I don't. It's not like they're going to go anywhere. So what you want to do, what I do is I line, this is going to go with the front here, okay, and then this will be my water, which will go into the back of the tower. So I put it on just like that. You see how nice? There's really no pressure right there, so this is going to line up and be really nice. So then see how that sucked it up nice? And then I'm going to check it and see. I use this putty knife to spread it. I plant them in these little things and I just pull them up gently. They come out like this. Just drop them in, just like that. Move down here where I want the next one. Pull up another cube. Now this cube has several, so what I end up doing is, that's too many, I split them up. I'll break them in half like so. Tuck those roots down in there. I am working on a soilless procedure where we can plant the flat without any of the soil getting into the system. In the aquaponics, I've noticed it's not so critical, but in the hydroponics, it can affect the soil, can affect your pH. My buddy's agreeing with me. He just said he agreed with that last statement. So the soilless mixture is neutral as far as pH goes, and you'll be able to pull the plants out with the roots clean, and won't have any difficulties with that. So this just goes in just like that. Just tuck them in there. It's pretty straightforward. This is basil, one of my favorite plants to grow. Besides, I like eating it. I think this year I'll build myself a outdoor pizza oven, and I'll make it wood fire, so I can do some wood fire pizza. Okay, so there you go. It's all done. Now, if you had a problem with this, if the foam was a little too big and it was spreading, you could take a zip tie. Well, this one's not a complete one, but you could take a zip tie around here, or if the bottom is spreading too much, if you don't have enough pressure here to hold that plant in, you could put a zip tie here, or you could take another cap. But these are $2.50, and I don't see any reason to put another cap on the bottom when this is going out. When we do the upper towers, I have a system where I stack towers above towers, then I have to have a bottom cap, because we have the drain hole coming out with a tube that goes to the tower down below. So for the upper towers, I have to have 2 caps, but for the bottom towers that go directly into the gutters, just 1 cap. So now we're ready to go hang it up, and we're done. And there it is, the completed tower hanging with the basil. Thanks for watching.